currently sitting in the mint condition Z31. It is now the next day after I picked it up. So I'm gonna get this thing unloaded off the trailer and hopefully try to get it running in this video. So they're currently draining this old gas out of the 300ZX. It's definitely been sitting in here for a really long time. And hopefully it's not too full because I don't want to sit here all day and watch gas drain. Now we're just draining the oil here. And we got the gas still pouring out of the back. So we're just dumping all the fluids right now so we can get a fresh start. So we just dropped this little pan right here and we found a little dead rat or dead mouse or something. So that's kind of gross. Poor fella probably got stuck in a belt or something back in '95, but I'm gonna go set him free. Antenna's going down. Oh yeah, she's good. She cranks. All right, there's no gas in it. She cranks all right. I've decided that we're going to be dropping the fuel tank out of this car. I just want a better look at what's in here before I decide to start it up and run some rust through my fuel system. So it's almost out now. I just have a couple more hoses I have to take off, and hopefully in the next clip this will be down. Fuel tank is now officially out of the 300ZX. I'm really glad I dropped it because I drained all this gas out and it looks pretty gross inside. So the next step is I'm just gonna clean it out the best I can, and hopefully we can just pop her right back in. I mean, it ain't hard. All right, so now we're cleaning out the fuel tank with some muriatic acid. The tank wasn't terrible. I just washed it out, but it has some rust in there. As you can see, it's not as bad as my 280Z, but it still needs to be addressed. We're just gonna put a gallon in here for now and then dilute it with some water. Just ran the acid through the fuel tank and it looks almost brand new in there. Check out how nicely that worked. You can get a light in there. Check that out. Looks like a new fuel tank. Just gave the fuel tank one last wash and check out how nice it now looks. I mean, I'm much more confident about putting gas in this thing more than ever. Fuel tank's all in. Now let's fill her up and see what happens. Ready? It's alive! So Kelly just ripped off the water pump for me, and next we're gonna be doing the timing belt. Just figured we might as well do it while we're in here. The water pump, let's show off the water pump. Where is it? It was just a little frozen. As you can see, it's really hard to spin, but we got a new water pump and we're gonna be ordering a new timing belt kit. So that should be on the way, and that's the next step. Got Kelly putting the timing belt on here. All right, check it out. Got the teeth all lined up with the marks, and we should be good to go.
I got the 300ZX running right now, and it is running beautifully. And check it out. So I went to see just to test how the AC works, and I just clicked this button, and look at that, still blowing cold. I mean, that really surprised me. That was my first time testing it out. So it's running really good, and super stoked. But yeah. One other thing I have to do is replace this window switch. So as you can see, I'm missing the driver's side window switch, the little button there. So I ended up ordering a whole new unit. This was actually $70, believe it or not. So now I'm just gonna rip this other one out. I already got it unscrewed. Looks like it just kind of pops out like this. All right, I already unplugged it too. This looks pretty straightforward. Then I'm just gonna plug this back in. Got the new switch all in and I tested it. It does work. So now time to just reinstall it. Just gotta put 2 screws in and then the chrome bezel. I got all the wheels and tires off the 300Z and I'll be mounting them up on the new Toyos I purchased. I now got all of my wheels and my new tires loaded up, and I'm gonna get them mounted and balanced and then get them back on the car and get this thing down the road. Got my wheels and tires all mounted up. They look pretty good. Here they are on the car. Now we can finally get this thing down the road. So I'm currently bleeding the brakes right now with Kelly, and that's really the last thing I have to do to get this thing on the road. And hopefully we'll have a test drive by the end of this video. So I just pulled the Z31 out of the shop for the first time, and it is now moving
on its own for its first time in probably like 15 or 20 years. I don't know exactly how long this car's been sitting, but I mean, I found receipts from the early 2000s, and that's when the tires are made. So it's out of the shop, and we're gonna take her on her first maiden voyage down the road. Let's see how it goes. So I'm currently driving the Z31, and it is running perfect, guys. It is running so good, and I'm really happy right now. I mean, I'm so happy that this thing's running good. Just wanted to get a better angle of me driving this thing, and you know, it's running smooth. You know, AC is cold right now, but we did it. We got the Z31 up and moving. We dropped the gas tank, drained the gas, drained the oil, changed the oil, did the timing belt, had to do the water pump, and a few other little stuff. You know, battery, of course, and plugs, and it's moving. You know, it's running really great. It's running really smooth, and I'm happy. So the next step is going to be to detail this thing. Now, this car has been cleaned, and like I said, probably 15 or 20 years. So there's spider webs all in here. You know, the jams are filthy. So that's going to be the next step, is just giving this thing a full detail.